Welcome to the next video in the series of the map to Adobe Lightroom Classic. This video will concentrate on some time-saving tips in Adobe Lightroom Classic. There will be 3 of them we're going to cover quickly. Quickly, time-saving, get it? Anyway, these 3 tips will help you save some time in Lightroom so you can get out and get taking more photos sooner. So the first tip is the easiest way to save some time. When you have an image and you've made a bunch of edits, so let's look at this flower photo. We've adjusted the white balance, all pretty much everything in the tone, a little bit of everything in the presence. We've got some split toning going on. Do we have HSL too? A little bit of HSL along the way. So lots and lots of changes in this image. So this next image was taken in it's the same location, similar light, and similar brightness on the subject. So wouldn't it be nice if I can take all the things from this photo and apply them to this photo? And the easiest, fastest way to do that is this button down here, the previous button. So at the bottom of the right-hand side in the Develop module of Lightroom, there's a button that's called Previous. And if you click on that, what it does, it applies all the edits, all the Lightroom slider changes you've made in the Develop module to the next photo. So the photo you're currently on, it applies all the changes from the photo you had previously selected. So all those changes now are applied to this photo. When I clicked on Previous. So that works pretty good. On this photo, I might make it just a little brighter still. Just a little bit. That's too much, sorry. And maybe a few other changes, but I'll leave that alone for now. So let's go to another photo and do a similar thing. So we're going to click on Previous. So now it has the changes from the first photo plus the one little adjustment I made in the second photo. I'm going to click Previous again, and you can see it cropped it, and it applied all the changes from the photo I was on just before I clicked on this photo. So that works pretty well when you've got photos with a similar color of light, similar brightness of light. This is a very, very quick way to save some time. So I can move a whole bunch of sliders in Lightroom really, really quickly. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it'll break. So for example, if on this photo, I have this little spider web here that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to do a quick spot removal on that. Just to get rid of most of it. I won't get rid of all of it. Take the time to do that. So wait for it. It's doing the math. And let's see, we'll just move this up a little bit to get rid of that. And there we go. That'll work for our purposes right now. So now when I go to the 4th photo and click on Previous, it will also apply the changes of the adjustment, the spot removal tool, which in this photo isn't awful, it doesn't look like. Where is it? Come on. My computer's being slow again, sorry. But it did apply this. A funny story I've had happen where I've done this, actually you can see where it doesn't work very well right there, so we just click on it and hit delete. So here's what happened to me once. When I was doing this method in a sequence of photos from a wedding, and I had applied a spot removal for something on someone's face, I think, or maybe it was in the background. But on the next photo in the sequence, when I clicked Previous, I didn't notice it was in that photo. So when I was the second photographer, the assistant photographer on the wedding, so when I sent the photos to the main photographer, she said, "Did you notice that so-and-so's face has a big smudge on it?" And I said, let me fix that. So every once in a while, you got to make sure that the previous button isn't, that you're just still double checking that something unexpected didn't happen from a photo that you don't want. So that's way number one to save some quick time editing photos in Lightroom. Use the previous button to apply some changes from the photo that you were on just before. Now, obviously, this is a little tricky to use if you're trying to go between collections. So I have a photo in one collection and I want to go to a different photo, or it's out of sequence. So unless you click directly from the photo which has the edits you want to the next photo you want to apply the previous to, this doesn't work. So it works really well, again, if you're working in one collection, a quick sequence of photos that need the same kind of edits, and then you just tweak the little things specific to each photo. So up next, we'll do the second way to change photos quickly in Lightroom. The second way we can save some time in editing our photos in Lightroom is to copy the settings. So the previous button method copies everything that was done to the photo, all the edit changes, including local adjustments, global adjustments, everything gets changed, and crop. Up here to the menu, to the settings menu, and go to copy settings. The keyboard shortcut for that is Shift-Command-C on a Mac, Shift-Control-C on a PC. So click on the copy and you will get this dialog where you have all the different elements that you can turn on or off. So by default, they'll all be on. And most of the time, this works really well. Although mostly what I'll turn off in the copy settings method is the spot removal. You saw that didn't work real well between different photos. And the crop. The crop is often very, very specific to every photo as well. Another thing I'll generally turn off is the local adjustments. If they work on one photo, they won't work exactly the same on another photo because elements have shifted around, generally speaking. So everything else, we'll go ahead and copy. And I'll click the copy button. And then I'll go to the photo I want to apply that to. Now, the neat thing about the copy settings is I can jump around. So I can go to this photo, and I'm going to go to Settings, Paste Settings, apply that change, go ahead now and do that same spot removal of the spider web over here. Get rid of that real quickly. Let's say we also want to make this just a little brighter, add some texture. So we did a couple additional things on this photo, but now if I go to this photo and I do paste settings, paste, it's pasting the settings from the very first photo, the ones we copied from, not from the changes we made to the second photo. So basically, copy settings can create a baseline, a really quick way to get started on your image, and then you might apply some more specific changes, some little adjustments for each specific photo. I do this a lot for like with color, maybe broad exposure changes. I often apply the same settings pretty much about all my photos in the presence section. So this is a fast way to move a whole bunch of sliders at once, basically, and then custom tune it for each individual photo. The downside to this, the limit to this tool, is when I quit Lightroom, these settings are gone. They're not saved anymore, I should say. They're just resident in the photo, but this isn't saved. So this will wrap up our conversation of using the copy and paste settings to quickly choose which of the settings you would like to apply from one image as your baseline to a second, third, fourth, fifth image in other images, in other collections. So that's the nice thing about it. So the third way to save time in editing your photos is to save the settings, not just copy them, but to save them permanently so we can use them when we come back to Lightroom from on another day. So the settings that can be saved and the method of doing this is called presets. So let's say I like the way this photo is edited and I want to save it. So the presets panel is in the top of the left-hand side of your develop module. And there's some built-in presets, and but I want to save this one. So I'm going to click on the plus sign to the right of the word preset, and I'm going to create a preset. And all a preset is a collection, a saving of all the changes you've made to the various controls inside of the Lightroom Develop module. So the presets, give it a name. What's a good name? I'm just going to call this flowers. There's lots of ways you can name your presets, but the general idea is don't just call it preset 1 or preset 2, because the downside to that is it's not descriptive and it's a little hard to know what you're getting before you apply it. So similar to the copy setting method, we have choices we can make. We can choose just certain of the elements in the develop module. We do not have in this option to choose to use either the adjustment brush or the spot removal tool. We do have two of the local tools. We have the graduated filter and the radial. But again, those tend to be kind of specific per photo. So I generally leave those turned off. In this case, I'm going to check all of these options. Everything that's I've changed, I want to have affected or included in this preset. So I'm going to click Create, and I saved it in a folder called MWS. That's my initials. So I've got my presets in here. So there's flowers green that we applied. There's gold with blue. I had some other older ones. So you can see what we've got going on here. Now if I want to go to, we'll go to this photo. So apply this to the next photo just by clicking on the preset name. You'll notice when you put your mouse over the preset, it'll show you what it's going to look like both on screen as well as in your small navigator preview. So you don't even have to click on it to get an idea of what the preset will do. So let's look at some presets that are commercial out there. Again, you can put your mouse over these and see what's happening. So here's a limit of presets. A preset looks great, looks wonderful only on the image it was created for. The reason for that is these changes that I've applied only look good on this photo. They look good on this one image. So it's pretty rare that you find another image that works exactly perfectly with a preset in just one click. So a preset's a great way to learn some techniques and styles, but be aware that you can't generally just click once on a preset and then say, I'm done. So here's what I mean by that. So let's find a preset that we might try on with a photo, on this other photo. And you can see these probably look good on the photo they were started with, but they don't look good on this photo right now. We'll maybe do, let's try this. We'll try that. It says Summer Bloom. So we'll click on that, and now those changes have been applied. So all the editorial changes have been applied to this preset. We've got HSL and basic panel. We've got some split toning. No, we don't have any split toning, and no effects. So if I don't like this, I can then, if it's not quite right, I can still make adjustments to it to fine tune it to my taste. So maybe I want some more blue back in there and a little different green or something else. So presets are a great way to experiment, to find new styles. They're also a great way to learn Lightroom. If you're not 100% or confident in what the different editing tools can do for photos, if you like the way a preset looks, man, that looks great. Then just come down on the develop side and look and see what they're changing, what's being edited to get that kind of look. So it's educational, it's time saving, and it's also can help you match a style, or if you're stuck on a photo and not sure what to do, but you like the photo, then a preset can help you do that kind of quickly. Let's go back to my preset. There's 3 ways to save time in Lightroom with editing. Applying changes from one photo to another. The quickest is to use the previous button. That'll apply all the editing changes, including crop and spots and all the local adjustments from one photo to the next. There's the copy settings method, which would allow you to take the edits from one photo and choose which elements you want to include. Maybe you don't want to include the exposure or don't want to include the crop or the white balance. So you can turn those off and apply to a whole sequence of photos in any order you want. And then the third method is to save the settings as what's called a preset, and then you can apply those again to any photo as a good starting point, and then make adjustments as you need to apply to that specific photo. So all of these are designed to help you save time in editing so you can get back out taking some more photos sooner than later. Hope you found these tips in Lightroom helpful today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. So that's what I have for today. Look forward to seeing you again. Have fun taking photos, and until we meet again.